Girl, we got some tea?
With the honey and the sugar.
Nah, we gonna need some wine for this one.
Well,
wine me, please. Welcome back to another episode of the Wine Me Please podcast.
It was so
Today we got, as y'all can see, we are wearing pink today in honor of Breast Cancer Month. And today we have a special guest with us. This young lady is beautiful, smart, and vibrant. And she has fought the good fight that some people unfortunately don't make it out on the other end with a big smile on their face. So give it up for my cousin, Ariel.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming to tell your story.
Yes, we can't wait to dive into it. But before, do you want to say anything about yourself first? We can wait if you want. It's up to you.
I just had to think about how old I was.
It's none of their business.
Well, I feel like
Go
it's
ahead,
important
go ahead.
talking about it. So I'm 31, single, no kids. I would consider myself healthy. Like, I feel like I lived a healthy lifestyle, worked out, did all that fun stuff. But it just goes to show that it can happen to anybody.
Okay.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so before we dive more into it, let's get into our wine of the day.
Yes.
Candice.
So we have the F. Stephen Miller Rose, a light and refreshing. Yes, that's a beautiful bottle. The beautiful color. I like the color. Stephen's Ultimate Pink Sipper has watermelon-like juiciness and a ripe strawberry finish. Pairs well with a traditional charcuterie board consisting of light cheeses, fruit, and salted nuts. It's 11% alcohol.
Okay.
So on the board we have the mozzarella cheese, strawberries, and salted nuts as they suggested.
Nice,
Looks good.
nice.
And those strawberries look amazing. I'm going to just
Thank
go ahead and say that. Thank you.
Those
we
strawberries were hand-picked.
Man.
We're going to sniff it, swirl it.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Cheers before y'all sip it, Dominique.
Right.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm like, go. No, I'm just kidding.
For it to be a rosé, to me it's a little flat than like...
It's lighter than I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm not mad about because usually rosé is really strong to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's, yeah.
What would y'all rate it?
I'm searching for it
I'm searching for it.
because I don't really know what it's doing to my palate.
It's conflicting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something about it is flat, like she said. Like
I
it's
think
missing a
that's what it
taste. Like
is.
it's missing something.
The description was misleading.
It's
Fair
not
enough.
as giving that
Fair enough.
watermelon
You wanna hold on to that?
freshness.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to it.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Oh, it's supposed to be watermelon?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's like it has like a burn, like it's like a watermelon. Like I feel like the other wines, like we're able to taste the notes.
Yeah.
I'm not tasting the notes or the layers of it.
It's okay. I moved on.
I'm
She's
still
over it.
drinking it though.
Yeah, we're gonna keep trying to figure this out.
She said we're going to keep trying to figure it out by yourself.
It's not nasty.
No, it's not.
It's not nasty. It just didn't have that...
It has a flatness, like you said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like all rosé wine is just like flat. Versus like a rosé champagne has that
That's
bubble
what I'm
to
thinking.
it.
That's
You know
what I'm
what? That
missing.
makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Because
That's what I'm
rosé...
missing.
And I think that's what I'm thinking of rosé champagne.
A bubbly rosé, yeah.
A bubble.
Yeah.
But versus the
That's
wine,
what I'm
it's
thinking
just
about.
like, it has that same flavor, but it's just flat like wine.
This is
Okay,
the last
girl, you
wine
want to be on the next
I
episode?
know, right? You're right. Teach us something.
was the last
Teach
one
us
I had.
something
I
real quick.
I'm
Yeah.
an alcohol connoisseur.
We love a good alcohol connoisseur, okay?
A woman of many talents. Okay. Yes.
A jack of all drinks. Not trades, but drinks. Okay. I'm gonna be eating throughout.
Okay. That's
I'm
fine.
drinking throughout.
That's what we always do anyway.
Okay.
All right, so moving along. Okay, so Ariel, tell us. We know that you have gone through the whole breast cancer journey. How old were you when you first found out?
So you know what? I actually found out the week of my 30th birthday. Yep. So I was going to the doctor. I was 29 when I felt the lump. Mm-hmm. So I felt the lump a month before my 30th birthday. Went to several doctor's visits, got scans, biopsies. I got a mammogram for the first time at 29. And then the results came back, I want to say, the week of my 30th birthday.
Man.
When you first went to the doctor, because you're so young when you found out, were they kind of like, I don't want to say nonchalant about it, but did they appear to be like, not be worried because you were so young? Because I know some doctors can kind of be like, oh, well, you're young, it's probably nothing. Mm-hmm. Or do you feel like they took it serious and like jumped on top of it the moment that you told them?
No, it was very nonchalant, like you said. So when I was feeling the lump, I made an appointment with my gynecologist. Uh-huh. And, when they felt it, they were just like, okay, we feel it. It's, something there, but it's probably just a cyst, something that, go away. It's probably not that serious because of your age. Mm-hmm. So I feel like they kept putting emphasis on because of your age, I'm sure it's nothing.
Okay.
So after that first visit, they were just like, oh, yeah, it's probably just that cyst. And then they were like, we recommend going to get an ultrasound.
Okay. So
I scheduled an appointment to get the ultrasound. When they did the ultrasound, they're like, okay, yep, we see something. We want to go a little further into it. Then it was the mammogram, which I don't know if you guys have had mammograms yet. A little uncomfortable, but that's process. After the mammogram, they're still, okay, we see this thing here. Yeah. What is this? Mm-hmm. So after that, I believe they scheduled the biopsy. So the biopsy was very uncomfortable. They took like a tissue sample.
Yes. Which is crazy.
So I was awake, but I could hear everything, but they numbed it. Mm-hmm. So they numbed the area so I could hear everything, but I just didn't look because I was like scared and nervous. Yeah. And it left like a really big bruise. And then they left a surgical clip in there so they knew where they took it from. So I want to say I just said recently, I want to say the mark just finally like went away from the biopsy. The biopsy bruise was there for a while. So after the biopsy, that's when they went through the tissues, and it was such a crazy experience. I got a call a couple days after the biopsy, and it was from the nurse, and she was just like, hey, have you checked your my chart? I was like, no. She's like, oh yeah, you have cancer.
What?
And so I was
just so insensitive.
I feel like back in the day they would call you in and sit you down.
And then that's what you would think. So I think that maybe she thought that I had already saw it in my chart.
I don't even think the nurse I would have preferred an oncologist.
With the doctor.
Mm-hmm. But by that time it was out of my gynecologist's hand because I had to go somewhere else. I went to a breast center to get all the stuff done. But yeah, so she was just called and she was like, yep, the results came back. You have breast cancer. Mind you, it was like a random Wednesday in the middle of the day. Yeah. So instantly, I at the time I called my ex-boyfriend and I was like, I really need a hug. And so he's just joking. He's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I just got some bad news. They told me I had cancer. And he was like, shut the fuck up. They didn't call and tell you that. I said, no, they really called and told me that. So I just got out the house. I think I ended up taking the rest of the day off of work because I didn't.
Surreal.
Yeah, I didn't know how to take it. Yeah. And then I think like the whole couple of days, my mom kept asking like, "Oh, what are the results? What they say? And I'm just like, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. But she was just on it. She just kept asking. So I told her, and she like broke down and was in disbelief too. I think that was like everyone's first initial shock was like disbelief.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure.
So from the time that you found your lump to the time that you were diagnosed, how long was that process?
Like a month.
Okay.
Yep. So I would say it's about a month.
Okay. Well, you look great.
Thank you.
You look so good. I've had families I'm at high risk for every woman on my dad's side of the family has had breast cancer. Oh wow. And my grandfather died from breast cancer. So just
and that's news to me. I didn't even know men could get it.
Yep. So simply because a man could have breast cancer, it puts a woman at a higher risk regardless. So I actually had to start getting like mammograms when I did a genealogy exam, and I was going through. They was asking about like health conditions and everything, and that's like, oh, we're gonna start your mammograms early. So I started getting them at like 30, 32. I started getting them. So I have to get them every year.
Okay.
But yeah, uncomfortable. So, it's scary.
But at least you went through that process. So even oh my God, after I found out, I kid you not, it was like 1,000,000 doctor's visits after that.
Yeah.
I want to say one Friday alone, I had 3 doctor's visits in one day because they were pulling me all over the place to see different doctors. But I did the gene test too, and so it wasn't hereditary.
Yeah.
But I will say that I know there were people I would get chemo with. We were in a big room, and it was like mostly older people. But there was a woman, she had breast cancer, and her mom had breast cancer. So it runs in their family. So she has 2 daughters. Her one daughter took it upon herself to just get a double mastectomy. So she's like, before I even get to having breast cancer, she just got her breast removed. Because she's like, clearly, it runs in our family. I don't even want to go through the chemo, go through the process. So for some people, that may be, a good choice for some people. Like, let's just nip it in the bud so I don't even have to worry about going through all that. Because it's a process.
Do you guys, Married to Medicine? I don't know if y'all watch Married to Medicine, but Contessa, she's one of the doctors.
Yeah, she had
She did it before. I think she did a genealogy exam, and they told her that she didn't have the gene to protect her from breast cancer or from cancer. She didn't have it, but they told her that she would have it. So she just went ahead and got a double mastectomy as well.
Because then her mom passed away from it. Yeah.
Yes.
So then what was the next step in the journey? So you find out, you go to all those follow-up doctors visits. Now what?
Yeah. So they assigned me to oncologist. So if anybody doesn't know, an oncologist is just a doctor that works specifically with cancer patients. So I got an oncologist. They scheduled me a surgery. I have to get a chemo port. So the chemo port is just to help with so basically just so you don't have to get an IV every week. So the port just helps get the chemo in. So I got scheduled for surgery for a chemo port. And then after that, literally the next week after the surgery, I started getting chemo.
How long was your chemo journey?
Oh, super long. So I did 16 sessions of chemo. And then after that, I did about 9 sessions of immunotherapy after, just to like maintain everything.
And what stage were you diagnosed at?
Stage 2.
Oh, okay. Yep. Are you able to do they explain to you like what the different stages are? Like what?
Yeah.
Like how do they even?
So just the basically what I took away from it is that your stage is based off of your size.
Okay.
So the size of, where it's at, and then it's different levels to it. So mine was stage 2 triple negative.
That's what my aunt had.
Triple negative.
I saw that in a little research I was doing. But I think, and I could get it backwards, but I was hearing that can be a lot more aggressive in younger women.
Yeah. So it is more aggressive. So that's why I did everything so quick. So mind you, let's say I found out December 6th. And then after that, the next week, I got an oncologist. I had more scans done. I had, because they wanted to look into it further. And then my surgery for my chemo port was January 4th. And then I started chemo January 10th. So within a month of finding out, I started chemo right away because since it was triple negative, just meaning that it's not anything hormonal that caused it.
Right.
Or, not genetics or anything like that. So they were like, okay, it's growing from this first biopsy and these scans at the beginning of December to, that second or third week in December, they did more scans. They're like, oh no, it's grown just within that 2 weeks. So like, we got to jump right on top of it.
Okay.
But I will say that once I started chemo, I want to say the first 12 sessions I got every single week.
Okay.
Every week I was getting chemo. And I would say maybe after like the 3rd or 4th treatment, I stopped feeling the lump.
Oh.
So I want to say the chemo worked really quick and really aggressively. And then my doctors were just like, they didn't want to scan right away. They're like, we want to go through all of these chemo sessions and then scan at the end and just wait it out.
Okay. I don't want to keep asking all the questions.
If you got a question,
I was gonna say that's some good questions. I was just like,
And I have so many thoughts because unfortunately, I have great support on my dad's side. I don't talk to them as much, but I have great support. But I haven't had the option to ask them these type of questions, especially with you being around our age. They've experienced this at much older ages. So it just kind of like hits different because, like you said, it can literally happen to any one of us. And like you said, it's not genetics. Like that wasn't your case. But how did you feel? I hear that chemo can be so hard on the body. So how did you make it through that? I somehow I found myself on the side of I don't want to say chemo TikTok, but TikTok, and there's like, and everybody's like, oh, make sure. I follow this one girl, her name is Alice, and she's like, oh, I have to make sure that I get my hat just in case I get cold. She had brings like her bag with all her stuff in it. So like, how was that journey for you with those 16 sessions?
Yeah, I would say it was different. So the first 12 sessions that I was getting every week weren't as aggressive as the last 4.
Okay.
So the last 4, we called it the Red Devil.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I can't even think of what it actually is, like the actual medical term, but it's a little packet that they give you, and it's red, and it goes through, and then I started getting something else. So the last 4 I got every 3 weeks instead of every week because it was just that strong. It was just that aggressive. So I would get chemo every Wednesday. And then I wouldn't have side effects until that following Monday.
Okay.
So I will say that was a good thing for me because a lot of people that I did get chemo with, by the weekend, 2 days later, they were down. So for me, I at least, was able to make it through the weekend. And then that Monday, that week after, I was down. Yeah, that following week, super down. And then every day was just different.
Okay.
Every day was different. It was some weeks that, I didn't have any side effects. It was other days where I was nauseous, extremely weak, no appetite. You deal with like your bowel movements all over the place. And then just the emotional toll.
Yeah.
I want to say my hair started coming out after the 2nd or 3rd treatment.
Okay.
So it happened really quick. It's like they talk to you about it. You know about it.
You just can't emotionally prepare for that.
Yeah, you can't. And honestly, you don't know what to expect. So I think for me, I want to say before cancer, my hair was probably right here.
Yeah.
And then it was just like one random day, I think I just did like this, and it all just like started coming out in my hands. So every day, just you would brush your hair and it all would just come out just as you were brushing. And then once it started, I want to say within 3 weeks, I was completely bald. It had all just like brushed away and just eventually came out. And so dealing with that aspect of it, getting weak, I lost a lot of weight. And then I ended up, by the time I got to finish my first 12 treatments, once I got to the more aggressive treatment, I started losing my eyebrows. I lost my eyelashes. So then it's like you're going through these physical changes.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like, just trying to, and me, I'm very private, so I wanted to keep everything a secret. So I didn't tell people. So just trying to go every day acting and physically looking like there's nothing going on started to kind of become a challenge.
Right.
So then it's like, now I'm going to get my eyebrows hennaed.
Okay.
And, I started wearing lash extensions, but it's like, okay, once my eyelashes started coming, my real lashes came out, I was like, now I can't get extensions. So, I'm luckily for me, I have like 20/20 good vision. I bought some fake eyeglasses.
Okay, to cover,
to cover, because I'm like, now my eyes are completely bald and I don't want people asking me questions. I don't want to feel uncomfortable. So I got like a little non-prescription, little reader glasses that I started wearing, just making all these different adjustments to try to feel normal again.
Yeah.
So I think that the mental toll, and then I think the biggest thing was, just feeling weak.
Yeah.
Because it's like you could be completely fine, but just something as far as getting from here to the kitchen, was a challenge. Like I would get out of breath just getting right there, and then I would have to sit down and just gather myself and wait a minute. And so, yeah. I would say that was the biggest thing. Just you don't know how you're gonna feel just on an everyday basis.
Yeah. What level of support did you feel like you need going through that process with all of the changes physically and emotionally?
You need a lot of support. I would say that's one thing. I would say I have a great support system. My mom was there through everything. She wanted to be at every doctor's visit. She came to every treatment. Luckily for me, I'm not even gonna say for her, for me, because I needed that. Her job allowed her to work remote on Wednesdays. So she would sit next to me while I was getting treatment and work on her laptop and stuff. I was still, I worked throughout the entire thing. So I worked from home. So I would take my laptop during treatment, but then I would work a half a day, because when I got treatment, I was getting Benadryl.
Okay.
So no. Benadryl, the pill you take, and getting Benadryl through an IV.
Oh, that's next level.
No. It was like Benadryl through an IV. And when I say like that, if y'all ever had like an edible or something, or like it knocks you out. So like my whole first couple treatments, or probably like all my treatments, I would like sleep the whole first 2 hours. Because I didn't mention, but treatments, that's a long day. I would get there 8 o'clock, and some days I wouldn't leave till 12:30, 1 o'clock. So you're there for 4 to 5 hours, just depending on what treatment you're getting, because every treatment, so I would have to do like 30 minutes of, the drip for the Benadryl, another 30 minutes for like a nausea drip, another, 2 hours of getting one chemo, an hour and a half of getting immunotherapy. So it's like you're there for a significant amount of time.
Getting different types of medications. It's not, it all consists for chemo, but it's not all chemo medicine that they're giving you. Okay.
Yep. So it's all different stuff that you're getting, and it's all different names and different, levels to it or whatever. So yeah, Wednesdays would be a super long day. So I would start off sleep, and then by the time I was done with treatment, I'm so exhausted from getting all this stuff. I would go home and go to sleep.
Yeah.
I would have to go to sleep after. So, I would just be tired the whole rest of the day. I've had treatments where I ended up throwing up while getting treatment. Yeah. So it's a battle. But I will say that, like we started talking about support. Having that support, having my mom there, having friends and family like call and check on me. Hey, do you need anything? Anything we could do for you? And then, like I said, I kept it a secret. So a lot of people...
She did. She ain't lying.
So a lot of people didn't know, but the couple people that did know, were trying to be there. And I think a lot of people don't know how to be there. So you would even get some people where you may hear from them once a month. And then I would have some friends, they knew I got treatment every Wednesday. They would call and text every Wednesday, how did it go? Or the next morning, how are you feeling today? Is there something we can do for you or anything? And then me, I would say I'm pretty independent. So even if I needed something or I felt weak, I wouldn't ask. Or I would just, hey, how are you doing? I'm good. I'm okay. And I could be fighting for my life.
Right.
I could... And, but just trying to, I think most of it is mental. So just being positive, not thinking about it, not letting it get you down is going to help you get through it so much easier. Because if you're telling yourself like, oh, I'm weak, I can't do this, I feel like this, that, you're going to depress yourself, and it's going to make it even harder.
Did you feel like, don't forget your question, throughout that process, did you feel, at any point, did you engage in therapy, like mental health therapy?
No. No. And that's one thing I kind of regret. I wish I would have. And then I also kind of wish I would have journaled. Like, I wish that I would have actually wrote down, what I was going through, how I was feeling, to actually like go back and look at it. Yeah. One thing I did do, though, is that I made sure that I took pictures. So my first chemo treatment, I made sure took a selfie day one. So every single treatment, I took a picture, and I could, see the difference over all the treatments and looking back. Once I started my hair loss journey, I took a picture. I'm taking pictures of all these different changes and, what's going on and, how I'm feeling these days. So that's one thing I was able to look back on, but I really wish that, I would actually wrote it down and not harbored so much inside.
Do you, everything's like it moves so fast. It almost seems like if I was in that position, I feel like it would be hard for me to even process, like, wait, I have this. Like, do you feel like you ever got the chance to actually sit down and process it before, like, you started your chemo? But it seems like everything just went really, really fast. Like,
it did. It went really fast. So no, I really didn't get a chance to process it. I don't think that I ever really processed it because I want to say even once I finished chemo, I finished chemo in Juneteenth was my last chemo treatment last summer. And, you know, all of the nurses I was in the room with, my mom, everybody, the people I would get chemo with, the old people, they all cried my last chemo treatment. I didn't cry. I'm not like, I can't be emotional in public. But they all cried. They were so happy for me. And I think that the reason why I didn't cry, because it didn't set in for me. So I don't think that I really realized, like, oh, damn, you're done. Like, okay, this might be over. Because I think in my mind, it's like, okay, even once the chemo was over, I still was like, okay, wait, I might have to do radiation. I still have these other treatments.
You feel like the journey still wasn't over.
I still have surgery. So I finished chemo last June, but it was like, I didn't finish everything until maybe 2 weeks ago. I think March 23rd, I just finished my last immunotherapy.
Okay.
And then just within that process, I had a double mastectomy in July. I had another surgery in November. And so it's like, although I finished it, it's literally was a year-long, over a year-long process. Okay. And then for some people, it's even longer. I chose not to get radiation.
Okay.
I didn't get radiation because I was like, okay, I'm going to double mastectomy. I'm getting my breast removed. What am I radiating?
Okay.
But some people that, you know, the other option is, what is it called? I can't even think of the term. And it's crazy because they asked me 1,000,003 times.
What does it do, though? Do you know?
But instead of getting your entire breast removed, you're able to just get the area and the tissue, a lumpectomy.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Where you're just able to get the tissue where it was at removed.
Okay.
So a lot of people that do that, they get radiation. So that way, even though you get that tissue removed, they always tell you that they can't 100% sure get rid of all of the cells where the cancer was. So the radiation is supposed to help with that. But for me, it's like, okay, if I'm removing everything, I don't need to do that. Right. But I also considered that too. I'm like, okay, you know, I don't feel the lump anymore. Maybe I should just get a lumpectomy. Let me get this little stuff removed. But I'm like, no. Because just knowing what, you know, I dealt with and everything, the process, I'm like, I don't want to go through this again.
Yeah.
Right.
Get rid of it. And, you know, so everybody has their different options on how they want to go about it. But I think even just speaking with people, there was a woman that I did get treatment with. This was her second round of chemo. She said her breast cancer came back after 35 years.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Goodness.
Yeah, so she was older. Like I said, all the people were older. But she was like, she had it previously, and then 35 years later it came back. And this second time, she decided to get one of her breasts removed, the breast with the cancer. She was like, you know, looking back, if I could redo it, I would have just got it removed then. So I think just talking to everybody and also know someone that's, you know, our age that had it in their 20s and asking her, you know, how did she feel and what she went through and different questions like that. It took a lot into perspective. And when I say it's different for everybody, because she was even telling me, like, after she had her surgery, she said she was down for 3 or 4 months. After I had my double mastectomy, I'm like, I like to be active. I want to say like a week later, I think I was on the lake and walked 5 miles.
Okay.
I'm like walking with my drains.
drains.
Yeah. I had my drains on both sides. I'm like walking. I just like put on a big t-shirt so you can't see the drains. I'm like, and then I was worried about blood clots. Like, you know, you want to be moving. You don't want to sit around. And I had to take shots to make sure that, you know, my blood didn't clot. So like blood thinners and stuff like that. But just speaking with her, and she was amazed. She was like, she had to get physical therapy after. It was hard for her to lift her arms. She couldn't put on her shirt. She couldn't bathe herself. And then here I am thinking I'm Superwoman. I'm like, watch out, world. I'm back outside a week later.
But I'm sure it probably helped with your healing.
Yeah, definitely.
So, like, I think for some people like, well, you get better if you lay down and let your body work. But then on the other hand, it's like, but if I just sit down, I also need to work with it. Like, I need
listen
to
to your body.
keep
Your body
it
will tell
going.
you what you
Exactly, yeah. So that's good that you was just like, you know what, I had cancer. Cancer does not have me.
And that's a good mindset to have.
And so that's amazing. I'm glad to be able to see you be an example.
Thank you.
Example of everything.
So December 2023, you found out. January 2024, the ball gets rolling. Juneteenth 2024, you finish chemo. After that, We partied, y'all, in
I
celebration
saw
of her. We partied.
When I saw her, I was like, she had what? Because I was like, she looks so good. When I see the video.
And when I tell y'all she was still the life of the party, it was... Y'all know how she is.
Yeah.
She did not miss a beat, and I love that for her. And when she said she was private, she was, because I heard about it early on, but I knew I wasn't supposed to know. So I shut up and I treated her normal. Like, I knew nothing. We was outside. We still had fun and whatever. And eventually, at one point, I forgot that you was even, because you was still outside, like, just being your upbeat self, you know, to the best of your ability. So then after that, you start, what was the next thing? Your next thing?
Then it was the double mastectomy.
The double mastectomy,
And then another surgery. And then in October, I started my immunotherapy. So I had to get 9 sessions of immunotherapy starting in October. And then I was doing that every 3 weeks. And so I just finished that in March.
Okay. So now are you, I guess, in remission? Is that the term?
Yeah.
Officially.
Yeah, so I ended up finding out. So when I did my double mastectomy, they were like, you know, they didn't find any more cancer tissues. They didn't find anything. So they're like, you know, after that surgery, it's like, okay, now you're officially cancer free. So since then, they haven't run any other tests or anything. But it's like, you know, I still was going to the doctor, still, you know, getting my immunotherapy and treatment and stuff. Now I just have to see my doctor every 3 months for the rest of this year, and they're still gonna check and see, and then it's pretty much just for the rest of my life. So similar to how you said you have to get mammograms every year, I don't have to get any mammograms, but I will have to see my doctor every 6 months to, you know, the first couple years. Then after that, once a year. But it's still the regular doctor visits. But luckily, it's not every week anymore. So that's a plus. And people don't talk about the financial toll that it takes on. It's very, very, very expensive. And even, you know, with me having a good job, I have good insurance.
Still got
But
co-pays, deductibles.
Deductibles. So like I said, in December, there was one day I had 3 doctor's visits. My copay is $60. So going to all these doctor visits, paying $60 every week, you know, and I'm seeing different doctors. At one point, I had to see a cardiologist to, you know, get my heart looked at. I'm seeing, you know, my oncologist. I had to get a new primary care doctor. So just all the different seeing the surgeon, you know, and, you know, with the surgeries, I had to see 2 different surgeons. So I'm paying these copays, paying for this. And then, of course, I think at one point I had a headache. I had a headache for like a couple weeks. I remember last Valentine's Day, they gave me a CAT scan. After the CAT scan with my insurance, I ended up having to come out of pocket $700.
I was going to say, I already know.
Yeah. So, you know, just for that, so everything just, you know, getting the surgery for my chemo port, that was, you know, another out-of-pocket, you know, payment. So everything just adds up. And, you know, I got to the point where I was trying to pay everything. Certain stuff I'm on payment plans to, you know, keep it down. But I'm like, they don't put medical debt on your credit anymore. Fuck y'all.
You ain't wrong, child.
You see the shirt? Okay. You see the middle finger? Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I still have to live my life. And it was hard.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I'm getting this same paycheck every 2 weeks.
Right, your pay ain't increasing.
My pay's not increasing, and all of these bills are like overload. And, you know, it was really hard. And so now I finally feel like, okay, I have less doctors, I have less, you know, all this. I'm like, this year I was like, I'm ready to live my life now.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing else to look forward to. I can actually plan ahead. You know, before I can't plan ahead. I don't know, the next day I might be, you know, throwing up all day. I might be weak. You know, I have all these different doctor's visits and stuff. So now that everything is, you know, over, okay, now I can finally plan a vacation a month away. Because even last year, I, you know, like I said, tried to be as normal as possible. I think I tried to go to Miami for 24 hours. I'm like, you know, I'm going to just go. I want to get some sun. I'm tired of being sick. And I was sick. I got out there. I was sitting by the pool and, you know, was feeling sick. I couldn't go out, couldn't do nothing. I'm like, this is a waste of a trip. But I think in my mind, I was just like, okay, I just want to do something, you know, to feel good. And, you know, I'm so used to traveling. I'm like, I don't want to go to no club or do nothing like that. Like, I want to go on a vacation, but I knew, like I said, I was getting treatment every week. So every Tuesday, I have to go to the doctor to get blood drawn. They had to check my blood levels. And then Wednesday was true. So it's like, I can't do anything.
Right.
So I was like, one Thursday, I was like, you know what, I'm going to go. And then I'm just come back Friday. I'm like, because like I said, I didn't start feeling sick until
that Monday.
Oh no! It humbled me real quick. When I
it was like, remember that flight? Remember that flight? When you humble you.
It was like, oh no! You think you're gonna be outside in these shorts? Yeah. So I think like after that, my blood level got really low. I was like really cold out there, and mind you, it was like 80 degrees. I was cold, feeling weak and sick, and I'm like, I didn't want to drink because it's like, okay, I just had treatment. I don't want to
know what that's gonna feel like.
Yep. So I ended up just in my room the whole night. So,
but you got by yourself?
No, you don't know. I had met one of my friends out there. I had met my friend out there, and my friend was like, "Oh, let's go out." And I'm like, I can't. At first, I was like, you know what? Let me just take a nap. I'll be better after.
You did one of those.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna just take a nap. I was like, I can't get up.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not even gonna fake it. I'm like, I feel weak. I just can't.
Yeah.
But at least you took a nap in Miami.
I know, right? It was a different room, a different scenery.
Different vibe.
I did have a quick question when you had mentioned the double mastectomy. Was it hard to make that decision to be like, a part of you that's kind of like, okay, I don't want to say it's looked at as like your womanhood, but it's like a part of who we are as women, Was it hard to say I have to let, remove my breasts? Rather?
Yeah, and it's something that you think about for a while. So even when I first met my oncologist in that December of 2023, he talked about everything. You need to start thinking now what you want to do. And he kept telling me, you need to start thinking now. We have these options. This is what you need to think about. So from January up until I finished in June, it was like, well, a little bit before that because I had to plan the surgery ahead of time. What is it that you're going to do? And so, like I said, it just took me talking to different people to figure it out. But it took a while because at first I was like, I'm just going to get a lumpectomy. I don't want to lose my breast. I don't want to have to go through a major surgery. I don't have to deal with all that. But after educating myself and talking to people,
it was the best.
It was the best thing. And then it was funny. My doctor's a older Indian man. He's like, "You're young, you just get new boobs." He's like, it'll be perfectly fine. All the girls are doing it anyway. Like, you'll be okay. He's like, it's these older women because some people instead of let's say getting implants, they may just get reconstruction.
Right. Okay. That's what my aunt had.
Yep. So with the reconstruction, they'll just take like fat from your body and then just rebuild it. But for me, it's like, okay, you're taking, let's say, the fat and tissues from somewhere else and putting it in my breast. Someone told me they did that, and
you don't know if the same cells have cancer.
You don't know if the same cells have cancer, but fat grows.
Yeah.
Right.
You might, they might put it where you have a nice C cup and you gain some weight. Next thing you know, you got double D's,
right?
Saggy double D's, yeah. Or I know someone.
And it burns, so you may burn the fat.
Yeah, and then I also know someone where hers got uneven.
Oh, wow.
Yep, where the fat in one was growing a little more than the other one. So it's like now you're, lopsided. And then it's like, those physical changes and feeling confident as a woman and stuff like that. So for me, I was like, no, that's smart. Because it was only in my left breast. But I'm like, remove both.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be in that same situation where, okay, we have this going on over here, this going on over here. So just for me to feel comfortable, I'm like, let's just start over fresh.
And that's a good mindset too. Like, I'm cancer free. I got fresh titties.
Now, did your insurance cover the implants?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's because it was due to the cancer.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah. That's good to know. I ain't got no more questions. Well, wait, no, I'm just playing.
Go ahead.
I'm just playing.
Okay. Is there any? So, what does life look like for Ariel now? What are your newfound goals? I guess.
I would say one goal. Like I said, I want to enjoy life right now.
Yeah.
I think that living in that mindset, and it was even like a point in time where I'm like, I don't even know if this chemo is going to get rid of this. So, I'm like, dang, am I going to, die from this? Like, you know, people die. Like, no matter what your age is. I'm like, they speak so highly on, oh, you're young or you're this age. I'm like, people at a young age are dying from it too.
Yeah.
So I think now the biggest goal for me is, you know, I want to travel. I want to, you know, make investments for myself. I've considered going back to school. I've been looking at different career paths, just trying to check the things off the bucket list, because it's like you never know what can happen. Like, your life can change at any time. And then I think, like I said, I don't have any kids. Like, I do want kids. And, you know, with getting chemo, it's, you know, different factors that play into it. So just wanting to get completely healthy, and then get to that point, you know, marriage, kids, potentially, and, you know, just finding, you know, what makes me happy. And then living a healthy lifestyle has been important to me, too. I started working out with a trainer because throughout that process, I couldn't work out.
Right.
So I couldn't work out. My doctor recommended don't go to the gym. It's all those germs. It's all those people.
Yeah.
You cannot be around all of that. The sweating. They don't clean that stuff. And then after my surgeries, it's like I can't lift or do anything. So that's why I started walking. I'm like, you know, at least I could walk and stay in some. So I think getting back fit, I've been trying to eat healthy. I've been, you know, juicing, looking up different vitamins, looking up sea moss, and, you know, just living a healthier lifestyle. Because although my doctors told me there's nothing you did that caused this or nothing you ate. So I feel like a lot of times we think that. Like, maybe it's something I ate or something I did, or I had a friend tell me, maybe the deodorant you're using. So she sent me like an aluminum-free deodorant. But I ended up... I lost my grandmother to cancer last year, and so they live in Mississippi. So I started using the aluminum-free deodorant or whatever, but it's not like a antiperspirant. So I'm like down in Mississippi, super high, and I'm all musty.
Right.
So I text her. Yeah, I text her. I was like, this deodorant you sent me not right. I don't think this is working. She's like, oh, no. That's just for like when you're in a house. You're not supposed to wear that outside. I'm like, you should have told me that. I'm like, this is all I brought, and I'm, you know, outside and in this heat. So it's definitely a lot to think about.
Okay. Yeah, I did when I was doing research, just like light research. It was some stuff that was on there that's saying like a lot of the different things that we use could, you know, be aiding to it. It's not necessarily the actual cause, but it could be feeding it unknowns to us. And it was just like, dang, that's just so crazy.
And also environmental too.
Yeah. So that's just tough.
Because they say with that deodorant, it goes in your lymph nodes and gets in there. And a lot of people with breast cancer, they do have to get their lymph nodes removed. And I didn't even know what that was at first. But luckily for me, I didn't have any issues with that. But they still went into, you know, my underarm to double check and see if they needed to remove anything. So just, you know, trying to actually read up on stuff. I think that's super important now because we don't know what's in a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And what harm it causes.
So I will say too, just, I don't want to say like a fun fact, but if any ingredients that has it's called a Prop 65 warning on it, a Prop 65 warning is to let you know that these have cancerous chemicals attached to it. So you can see it on anything. It's on White Castle boxes. It's on certain, and I learned about that when I started doing candle making, because the materials that I use all state like either it's going to say Prop 65 or it says no Prop 65 needed. And the only state that makes people have to have Prop 65 is actually California, which is crazy. But anyway, if this has Prop 65 on it, then it means it has hazardous cancers, or it was made around cancerous materials, or cancerous materials are within it. And that can be plastic bottles. It can be so many things. Just a heads up.
No, it really can, because I remember when I had my adult novelty company, and when I would order some of the toys online, they had to have that note that said, and actually it didn't necessarily say that. It would just literally say cancerous or could cause cancer, and I was like, oh, stay away from those toys. I ain't got time for nobody to be doing nothing. They'd be like, you done gave me cancer. No, I didn't.
Wow.
I used your toy.
Right. Like, But yeah, I am starting to see that a lot more, just on like different things that you buy, or when you online, the notice are coming up more to say that. I guess that's them trying to cover them. They you know, but they still gonna sell it to you though.
I was gonna say, yeah.
That part. Okay. Any final words you want to tell to our listeners, or suggestions, or advice?
First off, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming.
I appreciate it. I think this is a great platform that you guys have. Just, speaking on different topics for women and, people our age and stuff relatable, for us. Yeah. So definitely glad that I was able to come on and speak. Appreciate you guys for having me. And I think the biggest thing is just, if you feel something, check it out.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest problem that, a lot of people have. You may feel let's say a pain in your back, and you're like, oh, it'll be okay, it'll go away. But, you don't know what the underlying issue is.
Yeah.
And I can use my grandmother as a great example. She was having back pains and had back pains for a couple months until it got to the point where she couldn't walk, she couldn't move, her back gave out. And when she went to the doctor, they said, "Oh, it's cancer on your spine."
Oh wow!
That's why your back gave out. We have to give you immediate surgery next day. So they literally kept her. She had surgery, and they said, "Oh no, you don't have cancer on your spine. This cancer came from your lung and jumped on your spine and spread."
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
So she never even knew she had lung cancer, and it was stage 4 when she found out.
Oh wow!
So it's just, if you feel something, definitely check, because it might seem minor, but it could ultimately be something major.
Yeah.
And so, going through that whole process, and for her, you would think lung cancer, like she does not, like she smoked cigarettes or anything. She wasn't coughing, wasn't out of breath or anything. If her back didn't give out, she would have never known.
Right.
So just something like that simple, having those back pains and just letting it persist. Yeah. You got to check yourself out.
Yeah. Especially if y'all got insurance. Y'all pay all that money in health insurance. Child.
Yeah. And honestly, for me, I had heartburn one night. I had heartburn. I did like this. I'm like, ooh, this heartburn. Ooh. And then that's when I felt it.
Oh, wow.
I just did like this. I was like, ooh, it's heartburn. And then I was like, whoa, what's that? And it was like kind of hard. So I was like, it's probably just a heartburn. And then the next morning when I woke up, I, did it again, and I still felt it. And I was like a couple days persistent. I was in the gym working out with my trainer, and then it was like certain exercises I would do, and I like felt it. And so that's when I gotta make this doctor appointment. And I'm like, I didn't let another week go by, because it's like, if I would have let another week go by,
it was already growing between that last year.
Yeah, it was growing, and I would have never known. It would have went from finding out that it's stage 2 to what if I did wait another month or 2 and it's stage 4, and a lot of people don't know, once you get to stage 4, it's pretty much terminal. Yeah. There's nothing they can do. And then the bad thing about cancer is that once it does spread, they won't give you that option of chemo.
Right.
Because they're like, chemo's not going to help you.
Right.
So I think the earlier you find out and, do your due diligence and research and everything, the better off you'll be.
And I know I said I was going to ask some more questions. Because you had mentioned the lump. Because it is a difference from the way a cyst feels and the way, from what I was told, the way a cyst feels and what a breast cancer lump is. And please correct me, of course, but I was told a cyst is more soft. A breast cancer lump is a little bit more hard, and it doesn't move. Did it move for you, or do you feel like it was always in that same place?
No, I feel like it was always in that same place. Yeah. But I've never had a cyst, so I don't know how a cyst feels. But for me, it was like a rock.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. It was like a really hard lump. So, and I feel like prior to this situation, like people always like, oh, check your breast, you're gonna feel a lump. And I'm like, how do you feel a lump if you got all this breast tissue or whatever? But no,
you're gonna feel it.
You'll feel it through. And that's why it's important for women to touch yourself, because it's like, okay, you touch yourself, a little squishy, whatever, but it's like, if it's there, you're gonna feel it on a surface level.
Yeah. I be in the shower.
Because I always wonder, like, how would you know? Like, you doing this, but what is it going to feel like? But that's good to know. You will feel it.
You can't not feel it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, We hope y'all enjoyed this great conversation with our guest today. As always, follow us on all social media. Do you want the people to follow you on social media? Or you don't want them all in your business?
Yeah, she said she private.
No.
No, you guys can follow me on Instagram. It's the Ariel Michelle _.
Okay. Like always, follow us on all social media. Whammy, please tell everybody, spread this episode, spread the awareness. Go get yourself checked out. Don't be afraid, and tap into your support system if you need to. But y'all know what it is. We're not just a podcast for tea. So Whammy, please.
Look, y'all, I still got wine left.
Right,
She didn't
And don't forget, if you want our advice, send us an email to advice@whamypleasepodcast.com.